Welcome to Hops and Monsters. This is Uninhibited Nerdery. I am Charlie Swanson.
And I'm Ben Shackelford.
We've already got the giggles. That's a good thing. We've got a special guest in the studio today.
First guest ever, actually.
I think so. This is our first guest, so we'll see how this goes. Mr. Chad Mitchell. Hi, Chad.
What up?
How you doing?
I'm all right.
Chad is visiting us from lands far away. You're in town, but you live in Thailand right now.
Yep.
And that's a long ways away.
A bit.
And we're going to talk to Chad today about beer, which he works with. We're going to talk to him about living abroad, and we're going to talk about just stupid stuff that comes up probably. So I guess let's get into it. Now, I visited you in Thailand about 10 years ago, we were talking about. 2007. You were in Thailand. You were honeymooning with your beautiful wife, Jenny. Was that the honeymoon?
Yeah, sort of. It was
like the unofficial.
Yeah, totally.
The unofficial.
Yep.
And I mean, what's going on there? You love it there, huh?
Should we tell the story about when you visited?
Well, I guess we could get into it. It's a lot of fun.
Again.
It's a lot of fun for everyone who's not me to hear the story of me visiting Thailand.
Most people come to Thailand, they love it. They love the food.
Yep.
Charlie, you ate grilled cheese your whole trip.
I ate
Why?
Dysentery?
Well, here's what happened, Ben. I don't know if you've heard this story. Fly over there. It's my first time flying, longer than 2 or 3 hours at a time.
There was a coup that happened right before you were coming.
There was literally a week before I was supposed to go. The military ousted the prime minister or someone in the parliament or something like that.
And got removed.
So there's like the military's taking over. I'm like, oh,
you're right in the thick
I don't even want to go. Yeah, and then
I think you were already on the fence a bit. So like you were messaging me, Chad, is it really safe? Is it really safe?
Is it cool, man? Dude, I didn't go to Treasure Island.
My passport when I get in the country.
Yeah. No. I don't go to Treasure Island Festival if it's raining like it did last weekend. So, of course, I don't want to go to Thailand if there's a military coup happening. But 16-hour flight, we get in about 1:30 in the morning. Chad meets me on the streets of Bangkok somewhere with
on Koh San Road with a bucket in my hand, or at least a bottle of whiskey.
It was at least a bottle of the Mekong whiskey, if I remember correctly.
That's right.
Downed that immediately.
Not jet lagged at all.
I wake up with the jet lag hangover like I've never had in my life. We go to get some food. I get fried rice and let's call it a watermelon smoothie, something pink. I remember it was pink.
Watermelon smoothie.
Whiskey and a watermelon smoothie, that's bad news.
I remember it was pink because it came out...
it's all fresh. It's not sugary. It's like a lot of just fresh watermelon.
Yeah, but
it's actually fresh.
It didn't stay down.
I would not expect so.
We made the bad thing of like we made plans to like leave the next morning like 7 a.m. So we had to get to the train.
God.
So we were all like we're terribly, terribly just drunk. And still,
probably still drunk.
And
right?
you were jet lagged and everything else. And then we get to the train station, and I'm just like, "Are you gonna make it, dude?" And your face, you look terrible. Yeah. And you sat down. You're like, "What can I eat that's safe?" And I was like, "Just get some fried rice. Have a watermelon shake."
The plainest like fried rice you could ever imagine. Nothing crazy.
And then I look over, and I thought your face was gonna fall in the rice, but it was everything in your belly fell in the rice.
Everything fell in the rice, and. It was awful. And so I didn't eat Thai food like the rest of the 2 weeks I was there.
You're like, grilled cheese, french fries. And every time I try to get you look at me like grilled cheese, grilled french fries.
French fries.
Yeah, we go to restaurants and you'd be like, do you have grilled cheese? And no, Charlie, I can't eat here, guys.
Like, American menu? Yeah.
Like what, burgers? Sorry, that's even too much of a risk.
It was tough, yeah. I think I had some pad Thai by the time a week or two in.
Did you?
I snuck some pad Thai in, yeah.
You just didn't want me to see it.
But my favorite part of that whole story is, so we have that whole day in Bangkok where you're dragging me around like a corpse, literally, as we're doing things. And then we finally get on the night bus to go down to whatever island we went down to. And I'm like, finally I can sleep, because I just wanted to sleep so bad. And then, we get on the bus. It's a double-decker bus. They have a movie TV screen in the front, and they start playing a bootleg version of the Tom Cruise, Steven Spielberg War of the Worlds. At full volume. Ear-piercing volume. And this is like 10 o'clock at night.
I remember this.
And, I remember this. And
that's amazing you remember it.
It was like I couldn't sleep because it was just like screaming and like the loud alien noises and everyone's running around. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm never going to sleep. And then 2 hours in, the movie ends. And I go, okay, thank God, I can finally sleep. Finally. And what happens? They start it all up again. And they played that movie on a loop the entire night.
My God.
The entire night. It was hell.
I do remember you like several times being like, I was wondering if you were like debating going back to Bangkok, like going stuff and like getting a plane and going home.
It's
like screw this, I'm out of here.
It sounds like it couldn't get any worse.
No, it got better after that. It did get better. It
can get much worse in Thailand
I
very
really
quick.
enjoyed
You're not careful.
Know, right?
You never know.
Once we got out of the big city and we got onto some of those smaller islands, the day where we kind of like did the scooters around, I loved it.
You forgave me a bit. You were like, okay, this
it
is
was
all right.
fine. We got into the smaller areas where we could kind of hang out and I could catch my breath and we could kind of enjoy ourselves and get a bucket of beers and a bucket of whiskey and as you do so. Yeah, I did enjoy it, but you lived there.
Of whiskey.
Yeah,
that's a thing.
It was great.
But all of that inspired me to live there. Isn't that interesting?
All of that was like, oh, Charlie will never come visit. I should set up shop here.
This is true, actually.
And you live there with your beautiful wife and your small child, and you import beer for a living. I feel like I always get it wrong when I tell people what you do over there.
A ton of hobbies, but what I do in Thailand for my work permit visa, because you can't just live somewhere without visas. As much as you may try, but
it's everywhere you want to be.
Yeah,
that's what I hear,
basically. And so
that's a credit card.
I met these guys, a couple American guys who started up a company called Beervana, like Nirvana, Beervana. Clever twist, fun.
I like it.
And they were basically as big of beer geeks as me. It's a long story here. I won't go into all of it, but we basically were like found our mutual love of. They were already doing it. I was like, can I join with you guys? And
yeah.
Can I do it in the south of Thailand? So they started in Bangkok, and they were really just focusing on Bangkok. Mm-hmm. Big city, it's very massive metropolis of people. They didn't really have a reason to go outside of there except for some.
How many people in Bangkok? Like 10 million people or something, right?
I don't think it's that many, but it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot of millions. Yeah,
it's huge.
It's one of the hubs of Southeast Asia.
But you're down in Phuket.
Yeah, Phuket.
Phuket.
Yeah, you spell it Phuket.
I
wore that shirt.
I thought it looked like fuck it whenever I looked.
I know, and there's Bangkok.
Bangkok
and Pee-Pee.
Oh yeah, Koh-Pee-Pee.
Yeah, Koh-Pee-Pee. Yeah. So there's a bunch of jokes there.
Hey guys, I got a Koh-Pee-Pee real quick.
I'm gonna go fuck it in Bangkok.
I'm gonna go fucking Bangkok and then I'm gonna go pee-pee. Yeah.
All right.
All right. But
nailed it.
Anyways, in Phuket there was no craft beer. These guys were bringing craft beer in Bangkok, and it was starting to become a thing. They were the first guys to bring craft beer into Thailand, so they import and distribute. So I was like, well, I'm living in Phuket near the ocean, but this place needs craft beer too, because Phuket's also very big.
Yeah. And it's kind of touristy, right? I mean,
very.
Pretty well, yeah.
For example, the island, I think, has about 400,000 registered residents. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, it's double that, because most people don't abide by the registering to live there.
Okay.
And when high season hits, it almost triples in size, the amount of tourism coming in. So it's crazy. So I was like, yeah, we need good beer. So
yeah.
I was like, I'm living down here. I want to live near the beach. Can I do some craft beer with you guys? So
cool.
Yeah. So, but we import and distribute basically American beers, New Zealand beers, and Japanese.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What are some good New Zealand beers?
We're doing one called Tuatara.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
Engineer Ant gives it the thumbs up.
They have cool bottles. It looks like a lizard neck.
He's been to New Zealand.
Yeah?
Didn't you backpack around there?
Yeah. I spent some time around there.
Did you have that beer?
No, I haven't had the Tuatara, but I remember seeing a lot of different imported beers. Like they had Sierra Nevada, like a 6-pack for like $22.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's how it starts. I mean, even in the U.S., like what happened with craft beers. I mean, everybody's importing all these beers, and they're like, "Hey, we can make this better," basically. And it spurned the crazy thing that happened in the U.S. And so, like New Zealand has a bunch. Australia has a bunch. Thailand is actually also now having a lot, but it's illegal to homebrew.
Really?
So it's really stifling the market because craft beer is really expensive there, especially for
Yeah.
Thailand. I mean, you pay about $10 at a bar for a craft beer.
For one beer.
Like a Deschutes Fresh Squeeze, $10.
Damn.
Yeah, so it's, and especially in Thai, like
is that are we talking American?
American US,
dollars?
350 baht.
Damn.
You can buy a 6-pack of that here for $10.
I know. Yeah, so it's painful, but people are getting it. They realize how good it is. Like the Thai palate and the Thai culture is all about great food and great taste. So they get it. They're like, it's taking a while to get over some of the bitterness stuff, but they're getting the quality.
Yeah. And so you're going around, you're offering these beers to bars or venues of some sort, and you're saying
restaurants, bars, 5-star
educating them on
resorts.
what this is, and
When Beervana started 4.5 years ago, they were like, "Hey, here's a craft beer," and people were like, "What? Like, why am I going to pay this much for what? Like, beer is beer is beer." They just thought it was all lager. And there's also, like here we have Budweiser and all those big companies that control everything. Over there, they have Singha and Chong. They're basically two families, and they control the whole beer market to the point where it's like Al Capone. Like, you don't piss them off.
Oh, really?
You get shut down. Like, Carlsberg got kicked out. Pepsi got kicked out.
Huh.
They have a knockoff Pepsi there called EST. It's like the same logo, almost the same formula, because they used to make it there. So they decided they were just going to run it, one of the families. So,
so
I'm probably going to get
by the
shot
Thai
for this
mob.
podcast.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you getting any heat from the Thai mafia here?
No. Yeah, but luckily we're so small. It's kind of like in the States, like craft beer wasn't a big deal until it is. It's like they don't even realize what's going on. I mean, it's
and
so
those
small.
and those beers, I remember being in Singha, it was like a quarter for one of those beers, right? So
the prices have gone up, but yeah, they're
they're cheap.
Yeah, you can get them at 7-Eleven for
not
about
hurting.
$1.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
how does one become a craft beer, or how did you become a craft beer geek? I guess we could say it. I guess we all have, we all probably have our stories. I have a story about how I started drinking craft beer.
Yeah.
You obviously were already into it by the time you got over to Thailand. Do you remember a moment where you were like, oh, I like this, or where the taste developed?
Yeah, I remember when I was like 20, 21, I was trying every kind of alcohol on earth, and someone handed me a craft beer. It was actually Mendocino Brewing. It was Eye of the Hawk, I think.
Mendocino's great.
But no, I poured it out. I was like, what the?
Oh, really?
What's in this? Why does it taste like this? Isn't beer. I didn't like beer anyways.
Sorry, Mendocino.
I didn't like
Brewing
beer
Company.
anyways.
Yeah.
But someone left a 6-pack in the fridge, and so I kind of slowly was like, all right, this is all right. I get it. So me and Luke, our buddy.
Oh, sure.
We started getting into like Gordon beer. So I'm like, oh, maybe we should become nerds about this stuff. Let's learn about it. But it wasn't until you and I lived on Fifth Street.
Yes, Chad and I used to be roommates.
Yeah.
To the listening
We're
audience.
very close. We went to Thailand together.
We've had a long, strange trip. Yeah.
On Fifth Street, and then Russian River opened up when we were living there.
Oh, yeah.
And we're like, what's this place? A craft beer place? What are they even doing over there?
Yeah.
I remember I was upset about that because I used to play shows there when it was the
everybody's
old
upset
Vic.
because Old Vic. Yeah, and I was like, who's this Russian River baloney? And then we used to go there and drink Damnation, and it was like, oh, Damnation's amazing. And then from there, the rest is history. But that was. But at first,
Pliny
I was
the
like,
Elder, man. Damn, that's what did it for me.
yeah, Blind Pig, man. I mean, Russian River.
I love Blind Pig. Yeah, Russian River Brewing Company definitely.
Yeah.
And now you can't even get a seat in there. But back in the day when it started there,
we were always going
we
there.
we could get
Oh,
our
it
own
was a
table.
block
big
away.
table. Yeah,
You know,
you were
they
always
had
there
those
too,
big
yeah.
round tables you could fit 12 people at, and it felt like our place.
Yeah,
Totally.
That was where we all met to hang out.
I think it's where actually I met you the first time, maybe. No, I think you came to our house because we've been friends almost as long as Charlie.
Yeah.
Charlie
No, I've known you guys since you lived on Fifth Street.
Oh yeah.
And I think actually, I know that it was like, I know the three of us were always there. Plus, whoever else, we always get the big round table in the back.
Yep.
We'd like,
Oh yeah,
get there
that
and
was
be
like our table.
We were like, who's getting off work first? Let's go there and grab the big table.
The table. Yeah, exactly.
Good times,
And now it's like,
man.
yeah, forget it.
And
Not
yeah,
waiting in line for an hour.
I know now
They've got those
it's
velvet rope
ridiculous.
things.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I haven't gone since I've been here. I don't want to go.
Just drive by and you'll
It
see.
upsets me.
No, it's like
crazy.
you're waiting in
Sunday
line at the
morning
bank,
10:30,
man.
There's a
Packed.
line around the block.
Yeah, it's bizarre. I mean, good for them, but geez,
Yeah.
Louise.
I'm happy they're building the second one. I know they've been resistant to like they want to keep it kind of small. but
Yeah.
man, like the cult status of Russian River is so big. Like
Yeah,
in
it really
Thailand,
is.
if you bring a bottle of Russian River in, it's like man, it's
That's like
massive.
gold, probably.
Literally.
Literally.
They'd probably pay. I mean, I guarantee you could sell it for over $100 a bottle. Easy.
Holy cow.
Like not these aren't legal bottles. That's the thing. They're smuggled
sure.
in. Because that's the
market.
big thing in Thailand. The biggest challenge to craft beer in Thailand is that there's a huge tax on imports.
I imagine.
America's expensive, but when I come back here, I buy like clothes, I buy like quality goods, anything that's made here, I buy it here because it's like it's way cheaper. Or if it's not made here, if it's just a quality product, I buy it here because over there it's going to cost. The tax on beer is about it's not an exact. It's a crazy formula, but it comes out to about 460% tax on the wholesale price.
Whoa.
Sorry, on the imported price.
Yeah.
So you buy it for a quarter and end up paying $4.
That's right, and that's but we sell it. Our price to bars is about $5 a bottle. That's crazy.
So you're not importing kegs or anything. It's all
Oh
bottle.
no, we're full draft. We do full draft.
Oh, okay.
That's the hugest challenge because nobody understands how to keep beer cold. They don't understand why it would need to be kept cold.
Right.
Until education's happening. Like it's changing fast. I'd say the last year and a half, people are getting it. Now I'm getting people calling me and being like, "Hey, you're the craft beer guy. I want to buy craft beer." So it's changing. But Bangkok that already happened, but in Phuket it's definitely happening. and more people coming into the country to work, like hotel managers, etc. And people want to start restaurants, and Thai people are really getting into it. But yeah, 460% tax. It's nuts, man. Like I can't believe anybody drinks it at that price. I mean, it's worth it, right?
But I guess
it's
someone's drinking it.
Well, especially the average income there is about what's that U.S. average? Or sorry, the Thai national average I think is like $750 a year.
Oh man!
Wow.
So $10 is a lot of money.
If you're gonna drink a craft beer in Thailand, you're gonna fucking enjoy it.
That's right. That's right. Well, it's like cult status. I mean, like there's all kinds of blogs and like podcasts where guys are just talking. They analyze and review every craft beer that comes in. But yeah, it's cool. But it's also I wish it could bring the price down, but we can't anymore. Fortunately,
I know, right?
Like on top that we ship it across the ocean and all that logistics.
So we have to keep it cold across the ocean.
Yep.
Wow.
Cold containers. When Stone finally came with Beervana, we got a little surprise. There was a little hidden sensor inside the cold container because they were like testing us to see like, are you guys actually keeping it cold? And they like, hey, we looked and you guys did. I'm like, whew, like we passed. Because sometimes in Thailand you get customs. So you ship from Oakland, and then we get to Thailand about 2 months later, maybe a bit around there, Then it comes to customs. And then not only do you have to pay the tax, get them to clear everything, make sure that it's the same bottle that was brought in last time. For example, if they change the label and there's a different graphic on it, it sets up it like resets the whole process. Like, you have to get a new permit, and if there's a cartoon graphic on it, they either assume you're going to be selling it to children,
really,
or they think that you're like violating copyright laws, which is hilarious. I've been to Thailand.
I'm like, that's the big
really
over
they're
there.
worrying about copyright laws with their Pepsi ripoff and stuff.
Yes, exactly.
That's good.
but they're like, oh no, imports, no way.
Wow.
So Founders, we had their breakfast stout, which has a little kid eating cereal out of a bowl, and it's a cartoon drawing.
Totally inappropriate, Founders.
It cost us so much time and energy to get that out of customs and excise. Man. They were like, "What are you doing here? You're marketing it to babies, huh? Is it a breakfast stout?"
Obviously.
Yes, clearly that's what we're gonna do.
That's obviously what's going on here.
Actually, just to be clear, if the Thai authorities listen, that was sarcasm. You may not understand this, but
all respect to
totally
the customs authorities.
Yes. But anyways, on top of it, at the very end of the day, so we keep it cold. There's one point where it goes in a warehouse, and you have to put like a tax label on it. It's like a sticker, and it's by hand. There's a sticker that goes over each bottle cap.
Wow. Oh my God!
Or else you can't sell it in Thailand. And if it goes there, I'm going to bring some bottles back to share with friends. But a friend of mine owns a bar, and someone brought him back a rare bottle of whiskey from Scotland, and he put it in the bar. He's like, "Oh, stoked! I got this rare bottle," and he was going to drink it later for himself or share with friends.
Sure.
And the government officers came in. They went, "Oh, what's that bottle not have the tax sticker on there?" And he's like, "Oh, my friend brought it in." They're like, "You have it in the bar. Here's your, $500 fine." It's like, oh
man.
So it's pretty serious.
Did he get to keep the bottle, or did they take it with the fine?
I'm not sure.
Oof.
That would have certainly happened in
tough.
our country.
That's tough. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I get it. I get why they're trying. They try to. They want to have self-sustaining economy. They want to be able to tax imports. It all makes sense, but
well, yeah, it makes sense. And it's funny because I didn't think about the breweries wanting to have that quality control as well.
Oh yeah.
Because, but it makes me think. I was just talking to the guy who runs Fieldwork, which is out of Berkeley right now. They don't distribute anything. They only have it at their tap room because they want to control the process.
That's right. That's why Russian River. My goal.
And Russian River is pretty much
goal
the same
this
way.
trip is to be like convince them. Be like, we promise we are the highest quality of cold chain. We are super serious about this. Like we are.
Yeah.
And be like, please let's take a pallet of Russian River and sell it in Thailand.
Well, plus because you were a local and you knew a lot of those people personally.
That's right.
They should have some level of trust.
I'm from Santa Rosa.
We were one of the first people to start drinking there, for Christ's sake.
Exactly.
I know,
so I'm hoping
we built
that connection.
We built that brewing company.
Remember when we drank the entire keg of, what was it, on Valentine's Day? Rejection?
Rejection, yeah. Ben and I had a perfect
we were known as the guys
who
who drank that entire keg. The whole batch.
Well, we
we
killed
would
it.
get in there and get pictures every day, like all of February.
So how's your replacement liver holding up? Oh, you mean the third or the second one? Right?
Yeah, third one's holding up real
well,
good.
I've also had my blood changed.
Yeah, we do a weekly dialysis.
Weekly dialysis. We're doing it right now as we're talking.
This is
we're
good.
Drinking and dialysis, in and out.
Just hook it up to my veins.
It's about that time to.
Yeah, we're going to open. Oh, yeah, we haven't even been talking about what we're drinking right now. I'm currently drinking, and Ben, you just opened the Hoptimum. I hope I said that right. Sierra Nevada, a whole cone Imperial IPA. Chad, what does whole cone mean? Do you know what that means?
They put the whole cone in it.
Whole cone of what?
of hops.
Oh, okay. It's a
See on there,
hop
there's
is a
a guy's
cone?
picture. Well, it's a flower, but
It's
it
a
looks like a
flower.
cone. It's actually a close relative. It's a cousin. It's a cousin to marijuana.
But that
Hops
explains
are.
a lot.
Hops are, yeah.
Ah,
That's why it grows so well in our wonderful part of the world.
And I always thought they looked like artichokes.
Yeah. No, but if you look at them up close, they look like they're beautiful. They're like a flower.
And this is a super
But they're
strong
like a
beer.
weed flower. They're like a bud.
Are you drinking the Optimum too?
Yes.
Because we also got the Born Yesterday Pale Ale from Lagunitas. One day only, so this is that day.
That was cool,
We
man.
got
I
lucky.
feel so lucky.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Seriously.
Okay.
And it was pretty good.
That's the other people. Lagunitas,
Tasty.
if you listen to this podcast, we want you so bad.
Lagunitas. If
We want
listen to
you
this
in our
We
mouths.
will plug
Wait.
your beer.
Yeah, and also Lagunitas or Sierra Nevada. If you want to send Hops and Monsters beer, we will talk about you on the
Cases of beer.
podcast.
You know.
hopsandmonsters@gmail.com.
Because
Let's
it
talk.
costs money for us to buy beer and do this.
Yes.
So
This is coming out of our
some sort of
pocket.
partnership would mutually benefit both of us, I think.
Well, let's see. Beer snobbery. I kind of wanted to just. I think Russian River Brewing Company is the perfect way to say that. That's really where it started. For me, I moved and lived in Portland for about 4 years, and I drank nothing but cheap beer up in Portland because I was so poor.
In
I was
Portland.
dirt
Plus,
poor.
that's the
Really?
hipster thing to
So
do.
many good
Yeah,
options.
because everyone's
Tall
poor.
cans. You could get a tall can of whatever PBR or
Tax-free.
Rainier for like $1 at the bar. So of course you have to go
that's
that
what
way.
I'd choose. Yeah.
But 4 years of that, I'm totally phased out of that. I can't drink that tinny, metallic, light, just tasteless. I mean, I love you, PBR, but I can't do it anymore.
PBR's
right?
like, we're shutting
If
that
I'm going to be
podcast
spending money
down.
on stuff, I really do want to have a little bit of a flavor or something that lets me know I'm not just drinking water.
It's weird when it changes, when all of a sudden you're like, I'm not enjoying this. You used to be like, whatever, I like craft beer, and then you're like out somewhere in a party and someone puts out PBR. Well, who cares? You're drinking it, and then
Yeah.
it all of a sudden kind of changes at some point. Maybe it's age or, I don't know, pretentiousness. I don't know which one. But they're like, it's not enjoyable. And you're like, I'd rather just drink some water.
It just fills you up at some
Or
point,
let's
right?
do some shots. I mean, let's
Oh,
get to the
God.
point, right?
Shots. Here we go.
I did vodka shots last night, so I'm a little
Oh,
haggard.
boy.
Yeah. It was at the
Vodka
end of like
shots.
an awesome craft beer tasting, and then there's like, we're out of booze. You know what we should do?
Wait,
got
you
some
did,
vodka.
you did craft beer and then vodka
Yeah,
on
it was-
top of that?
oh.
You,
Bad idea.
Yeah. There's your craft
Sorry,
beer
guys, I look
expert,
a little haggard
folks.
tonight.
Yeah.
I am. I tell you, when you visit home, it's like, first of all, I mean, this is like Mecca. I don't know if that's disrespectful anyway, but it's like Mecca of beer and food. I mean,
Sure.
Sonoma County's awesome.
Yeah.
And like high quality, like
It is
goods, like salads. Man, I miss salads. So like, I've been eating so many big salads and like delicious food and drinking all this beer. And then the days I don't, even like the moments I'm like, you know what, maybe I won't drink beer today. And Charlie's like, and Ben are like, hey, let's do a podcast.
Yeah, then Charlie's
where
like,
we
I have a
drink
beer podcast.
So,
Come
yeah.
do it. Yeah.
I basically stumble through Santa Rosa like 99% of the times drunk
Yep.
or recovering. So
Right.
I'm like, my vacation's awesome. I can't wait to get back to Thailand and recover.
Exactly. You got to dry out.
Yeah.
Ben, any craft beer snobbery stories on your end? What do you think?
Well, I never really got into drinking cheap beer. In fact, I really didn't drink alcohol at all until I was about 27.
Okay.
It just didn't interest me, and I think it was.
Me.
It could be. Yeah.
The scene.
I think it was Russian River. I think, Blind Pig, Pliny the
Yeah.
Elder, and the Rejection. For sure that
Yeah.
seasonal that they make for Valentine's Day.
Very appropriately. Yeah. They know what they're doing.
It kind of got me hooked. Then I went into Lagunitas after that, and then I discovered
Yeah.
things like Racer 5 and
Yeah. And you live in Petaluma, home of Lagunitas.
right. So
I mean, their tap room there is
in fact,
great.
I used to work right across the street from where it was when I worked at Mesa Boogie,
Oh, cool.
and they started right across the street, literally from that amp factory that I worked at.
Yeah.
And we would walk by there on our way on a break to get to go to the deli. We would mix with their employees all the time. We'd walk by, and they had their casks. They would have to test it constantly, so they would always it would squirt out like a pint in a glass. And they would have to be constantly checking it. So we would walk by, and they would just hand us glass pints of what they were brewing, and that was just so awesome. This was in the mid '90s. I don't know if this
Yeah.
happens anymore, but
Probably not.
they can't sell it to you, but they can give it to you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. Well, we are going to take a little break. We're going to do some tasting, some podcast tasting. I guess we call it on-air tasting. Chad's got a couple of 22s, and we're going to talk about them. So we'll be right back. This is Hops and Monsters. I'm Charlie. That's
I'm
Ben. That's Chad. That's Ant over there taking notes.
He's pointing at
doing
all
the
of us,
real
for those
work.
who can't see what's
Yeah,
going on.
the way I like to do my podcast is I nod when I agree with things, and I point at people. All the non-audio stuff
Grunt,
you
it's
can
all
do.
it's all visual. Face
Yeah,
frowns.
I squint when I don't understand something. That's how you do it on an
I'm
audio
sure you
format,
can
right?
hear this, though. You can hear him nodding.
You
Yes.
can hear me.
No, there's a slight whisper. Yes, his hair shaking.
We'll be right back.
It's the movement of air, just
Yeah.
from the pressure, the sound pressure level of your head
Exactly.
moving. You can tell.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Oh man, I had to do a lot of tastings with like hotels and bars, and I'm really excited to check out this beer or something. But taste is subjective and objective. It's a little bit of both, right? Like, I mean, it's all about I would say like taste is in the mouth of the beer drinker.
Sure.
But I did tasting, and this same thing happened to me. I used to love Damnation. I was mentioning that, but I don't like bananas. And I used to love Belgian beers. And then someone said, "Hey, do you notice that it tastes like bananas? That yeasty." And I was like, and all of a sudden, I can't. Now when I drink
Now you think of
I drink
bananas?
Belgian beers, all I can taste is bananas, and it's
Oh,
ruined me for life.
God.
So
Really?
I've warned people, like, when we're drinking beer, can you kind of keep your opinions to yourself until we're done tasting it? Because otherwise it's going to ruin my... And not your opinions, but like, don't say something that's negative about it, because it'll
Sure.
just bring everything down.
Well, yeah, and then they insert.
You'll associate with it.
Right,
Something
and it's
like
permanent,
bananas.
and it ruins the beer.
Oh,
So I
wow.
did a tasting with a hotel the other day, and everybody was loving it. We're around the table, we're talking about, we did Rogue Dead Guy, Anderson Valley, Summer Solstice, and we opened Rogue Hazelnut Brown Nectar, which is a pretty old school, pretty famous beer. Really nice. It smells like Nutella. One of the guys, this British guy at the table, who's hilarious, but he likes to say like ridiculous things. And he opens and goes, "God, it smells like old sweaty gym socks." The whole table was like, "You're right." I'm like, "Oh no, it's lost. It's lost." Like, the beer's good, but all I can smell is old sweaty gym socks. I'm
That's
like,
all I can think of now.
like, thanks, dude. Like, even I'm smelling it now. Like,
Oh,
you've
God.
ruined
Never
it.
going to be able to drink this beer again
Yeah.
without thinking of that. Thanks
Needless
a
to
lot.
say, I did not sell that beer to them.
All right, well, we will try to be silent on our opinions.
No, it's good to do, but just
No, I know.
We should have had a blind test here. Ant should have poured out and actually hidden what it was.
Oh well. No, that's okay. I think we'll be okay. We're Hops and Monsters. I'm Charlie Swanson.
I'm Ben Shackelford.
We got Chad Mitchell. He's a beer guy. So we are tasting some beers. Chad, what's this first beer we're tasting?
Modern Times from San Diego. They make great coffee, by the way. Most of the beers that they do, they're a coffee roaster house, and they make great beers.
Oh.
They are in Thailand as well, but they're one of our awesome friends and competitors. They bring them in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm super jealous to have them. But this is called Fruitlands. It's a sour blood orange goza, however you want to say it. It's a sour, salty beer.
Guza. Yeah.
Definitely tastes the salt. But it mellows out really nice and just ends up tasting like white bread.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they get that breadiness at the end. Yeah, it's nice. This one's actually, of the gosas I've had, I'd say this was less sour and a bit more salty.
Like, I totally
Yeah.
want to eat a PB&J sandwich right now. It's just bringing that up.
I hate PB&J. Oh, I hate this beer. No, I'm joking. Oh, no. Just joking. You ruined it.
Or a PB and banana sandwich. More like it. Hey-o.
But we're
saying
here
banana.
to talk about what we think.
I know where you're going
Say
here.
banana. No, this one definitely is not quite as sharp as a lot of the gozes that I drink or
Yeah.
have had to drink. Pretty mellow start. Good
It's easy to
finish.
drink.
I like it.
It's easy to drink.
It's easy.
I mean, I wouldn't
little
want.
too easy.
I don't think I want a whole bottle of this, like the Big Bomber. I'm glad we're sharing it.
Yeah, I know. It's
I
a
feel
good
that most
taster.
with sour beers. I'm like, I love them, but it's a sharing experience. Like, wow, this
Yeah,
is really cool.
I
There's so
never
much
feel
going
like I
on.
want to drink a whole one. I just want to sip it,
Yeah, exactly.
Split it with a friend.
like a good scotch.
Yeah. But if you do have a sour like at home and you open it and you sip it and then you get like, that was really good. I'll have another. Like, even though, like,
That's
I
how
drink
it
the whole thing.
happens.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yes. It sneaks
Alcohol
up
does
on you.
something to you. I don't know if it's scientific or not, but I think alcohol makes you a little bit less inhibited.
Oh, absolutely, it does.
I assume. I mean,
I mean,
put it
I
out
hear
there.
about
I mean,
that.
that's
It's very
that's
radical.
like your opinion, man. I don't know.
I know it's a great cure for my social anxiety problem. I can tell you that.
Absolutely. I know. The guy who invented beer must have been like,
I think
This is
God
the best.
invented beer.
oh,
so
thank you. Yes.
You
That's
know,
in Genesis
I think
chapter
the
2,
first
right?
people to actually invent beer were were German monks.
Yes.
Actually, it's from Egypt.
Egypt,
Ooh.
even earlier. Wow.
Yeah, there was records of what they were doing. I think putting the grain, like the malts, like the wheat and stuff, and the barley out in jars, in clay jars, and they would have like the water would start resting in there, and then they would have wild yeast and it'd start making. Technically, it's not beer unless it hops in it, but that was the origins of
It was
But
fermenting.
do you think that
and
tasted
becoming
good,
alcoholic.
or do you think that tasted like weird wheat water that people were like, I feel funny after I drink this wheat water?
So one of the cool things about living in Thailand is I got lots of friends from different parts of the world, like Ukraine, Russia, Uzbekistan. I have friends from like a lot of different places, and one of the things is I think it's in Russia. I'm totally gonna not tell this correctly, but they have
That's fine.
a beer that kids drink. Even it's like 3 to 4%. 2 to 4%, but it's like it's basically it's wet bread. I mean, it's that, and it's supposedly really good. I haven't tried,
But
it
only
yet,
2%, so it doesn't.
It's like they buy it on the streets in Russia, I think, and Ukraine. But it's my
Because-
facts are a little off on that. But I know that it's basically.
I mean, I don't
it's
doubt
wet
it.
bread. It's
I could see Russia serving white bread.
actually
beer
there's
to
a beer
kids.
they make with bread too.
Well-
With bread, they throw bread in. So yeah.
Wonder bread.
If people can get drunk, they'll
Wonder
ferment
beer.
anything.
Yeah.
is the key to the story.
Do you know that
Exactly. We'll find
So-
a way.
Yeah, we will find
fermented
a way.
beverages like beer were developed in the early part of history because the water was so bad to drink that beer was really all you could drink to get liquid.
Right.
Yeah, England used to have
And
like the rules that everybody had
sometimes
to drink a bit.
They would the wheat would mold and it would basically turn into something like LSD and people would have these wild crazy hallucinations which probably led to the witch hysteria.
Right.
Yeah.
That could explain kind of a lot that was going on in the Middle Ages there. Yeah.
mass hysteria. Yeah. But I want to don't blame that on beer. That was actually the bread.
Yeah, it was the bread going
'Cause-
moldy.
Or
Yeah,
just
but
the water.
They were
or-
brewing
Hey,
it badly.
Don't blame beer.
They also would dump bodies in a river and then wash their clothes in the river and be like, "Why are we spreading disease?"
Oh, they still
I
do
don't
that in
get it."
India.
Been to India? Yeah. What's wrong with this?
I don't understand. All right, what's
India's
our
got
next one?
nuclear
What's our
power
next
and they
one?
still
We
do
open the
that.
next one?
Yeah, let's
All right, so we
let's
got
keep
more.
this beer train a moving.
Let's do the light. I've heard about this brewery. I've never tried it. Mike Hess Brewing, also San Diego. It's weird. We're drinking all like Southern California beers.
Oh, cool.
Well, we were drinking it. We weren't. But now
Southern
we are.
California is definitely.
Well, where's
I mean,
the
San
sculpin?
Diego is definitely
We're leaving
the second
something out.
Mecca.
They're not craft beer anymore, man. They sold out to Corona.
Oh yeah.
That's true.
Everyone's, there's that whole pretentiousness. Like there are 3 rules about craft beer officially. It has to be a small brewery, has to be an independent brewery, and it has to be all natural.
Well, Lagunitas is out then.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. Well, the owner of Lagunitas kind of he's one of the founders of the craft beer movement, so I respect
Yeah.
what he says. Tony, like when he writes something, I read it, and I got his point. He's like, really, craft beer, that term has done what they set out to do. Now there's a ton of good beer. And isn't that what matters? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
The problem is you look like companies like Goose Island, where they were like this amazing craft beer out of Chicago. They got bought out. They're not independent. And now their quality's suffering. Their beers just aren't as impressive.
Right.
They're going to shoot me.
I'm not worried about Lagunitas. I think they'll do fine, even
I
though
think so, too.
Heineken owns 10% of them now.
Yeah, they're gonna be okay.
There's only 10?
I think so.
thought it
Maybe
was
it's more.
50.
Well,
I have a
Heineken-
friend who actually deals with them.
Yeah.
He's one of the go-betweens between Heineken and Lagunitas.
From what I heard, Heineken basically is doing their international distribution
Right.
kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
They ship it to Chicago.
They're not really changing anything to do with the.
or they brew it.
Domestic
And
stuff.
they have a satellite brewing facility in Chicago, so that they can get it to ships on the East Coast
Right.
and keep it cold. I guess.
Well, there's been different rumors. I mean, I don't know what's going to end up being true, but like
That's
the rumor is that like Heineken. So Heineken, is brewed independently around the world. Like I think in Thailand, I think Chong or Sing brews it for them under their label, and they maintain their quality, whatever.
Right.
So the rumor is that they're basically going to do the same
Strict
thing
Heineken quality.
with Lagunitas. Is that Heineken's going to be like, hey, we'll set up a plant for over here. We'll brew Lagunitas in Thailand, so we can avoid those import taxes. So I don't like that.
Yeah, that doesn't
It
seem
bums me
ideal.
out.
Yeah.
So I hope that Lagunitas sticks to their guns, and I think they will, but we'll see.
We'll see.
So yeah, this is Mike Hess Brewing. It's an India Pale Ale. It's called Grapefruit Solace. I never had it before, but
I
the
can
whole
smell the grapefruit right off the bat.
So
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
this one
It
actually
smells fresh.
has
Yeah.
I think grapefruit added. So one of the big things is we're talking about before the podcast started, we're talking about fresh squeezed from Deschutes,
Sure.
and it smells like fruit. It tastes
Oh,
like
wow.
there's juice.
Oh
in
yeah.
it.
This is definitely in that vein.
Oh really?
I think so.
That tastes like pure grapefruit to me. I mean, that's like someone squeezed a grapefruit.
Woo!
Yeah.
It's definitely a
That's
fruity.
nice though.
I mean, yeah, if you
But see,
not
so
bad.
a lot of craft brewers and brewers are kind of annoyed with the whole fruit. Like everyone's like, oh yeah, hops are amazing. When you grow them near something, they pick up attributes of the local fruit and citrus. And so you put them in beer, you can extract all these characteristics of the hops into the beer. So a lot of brewers now are like, why don't we just put fruit in the beer? And a lot of brewers on the opposite side are like, wait, you're cheating. The whole cool thing about craft beer and like IPAs was that we found new hops that were like redefining what it meant to be a hop. Like, I mean, it was like, whoa, why is this hop tasting like, or adding aromatics of grapefruit and passion fruit? But now they're like, let's just put the passion fruit in. Like, so it's cool, but it's also
cheating.
it's kind of there's a debate right now going on in the craft beer nerd world that I read way too often, and they're like, dude, like
That's not
you're
legit, huh?
cheating. You're cheating.
right. It's kind of like if someone was trying to like paint an orange, and then someone was like, well, here's an orange. You know, it's like you're trying to create this thing that that looks or that resembles a thing, but then someone's like, well, I can just give you that thing.
Well, I look at it as like wine too. Like, you know, like sommeliers and the wine industry, they're very like particular. Like if you were to put like cherries in a wine to make it taste like cherries, they'd be like, no,
oh yeah,
that's not a wine.
It's interfering
grape
with the
juice.
natural process.
Right.
Yeah.
So like I said, there's quite a bit of a debate going about this, but I mean, who cares? Do people enjoy it?
Hey,
Is
if it tastes good,
is it all
it is
natural?
good.
Is it good ingredients? You're not putting chemicals in it, then who cares, right?
Yeah, like
That's my opinion.
This is straight grapefruit, though. Yeah, this is definitely hardcore grapefruit. Yeah, I mean, I guess it just what it boils down to is people got different tastes. I mean, this guy making a grapefruit with actual grapefruit isn't going to hurt Sculpin or the
Right, 'cause they
grapefruit
have a
Sculpin
grapefruit.
that
But
Ballast
see,
Point does.
they were the ones that first kind of really do it. They're like
Yeah.
pineapple sculpin, grapefruit sculpin. I was like, okay.
Habaneros. Have you had the habanero?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Oh my God! Don't get me started on that. So Sonoma Cider up in Healdsburg, they make a limited run of habanero lime cider
Really?
in a can.
Is it good?
It's so good. It tastes like the best margarita I've ever had in my life.
Really?
And I'm so mad that it's limited. They only make it in the summertime, and they're already sold out of it. You can't find it anywhere.
There you go.
That's awesome.
I was lucky.
Something to look forward to.
A friend of mine, the woman who cuts my hair, Melissa,
Sure.
she cuts a few of the guys who own that place, and so they gave her a couple 4-packs, and she gave them to me,
Oh, nice.
and that was just she didn't even charge me for the haircut. So I
So
got
she
a double
gave you a
deal.
beer and you got a free haircut.
pretty much,
Wow.
and she
Damn,
dyed
dude.
it black. Yeah,
Wow.
I
all
just
most
can't give
of
enough
it.
props to Melissa.
Honestly, I'm
And
pretty.
her husband Paul's been one of my
Shout out
best
to
friends
Melissa.
for many years.
Yeah, wasn't
Oh,
Paul some of the coolest kids we know?
Yeah, they're good kids. Yeah.
Well, Melissa, Paul. No, I'm joking.
Paul's
fine.
fine. We can't leave out Tone, man. Tone's a staple.
Oh, we don't want to get started.
He's
on
like their
Tone.
surrogate.
You know he's gonna listen and get so mad.
Don't worry. Tone will be in the studio someday. I'm sure we'll talk about fishing or something.
Yes.
Love you, Tone. All right.
Oh man, we just lost our friendship.
He loves it.
He
Come on.
loves it.
He's a kid. All right, we got one more. We're still kind of finishing the grapefruit, but this one is the strangest one, and I really want to read the.
I've got to say, I love that
describe-
bottle.
I like you're holding the label up to the mic like
I got
the
to
camera.
describe.
Like, look, guys, look.
They can hear the sound of the bottle, Charlie.
It's so cool.
Going back to the head shaking thing, he's like,
Clown Shoes has a Space Cake double IPA, and then it's this guy in a superhero outfit and a bunch of lasers and a dog next to him. Why are Miracle Mike and his dog Bionic being chased by many evil laser beams shooting cupcakes and two giant layer cake motherships? I guess you'll have to drink the beer to find out. 'Cause
That
I don't
sounds
wanna
like an
read the rest
awesome
of that.
graphic novel that I want to
Yeah,
read.
exactly.
And I have
like-
to drink it.
It's also
Space
the kind of label that if you were drunk, you're like, what is going on?
Yeah, it's very
What am I
colorful.
drinking?
Which I guess is
It's
why I
obviously
said my
being
last
marketed to children.
paragraph.
So.
Yes. So do you have a problem importing this because it looks like it's a children's
we,
beverage?
we would have
be a
we would have
concern?
trouble. No,
Yeah.
we'd have trouble with that. Yep. I mean, we get it clear. You just have to kind of first of all prove you have
They
the
just don't
you have
get
the
American
copyright.
humor over there, right?
Sarcasm doesn't translate well. There's no sarcasm in Asia.
Really?
So all their jokes are like
That's why they're so serious?
they're not ser- I mean, especially Thai. I think Thai culture is very fun-loving. They love fun. Seriously, they'll look for any excuse to have a party. It's great, especially except for right now because the king has passed away and it's a very somber time. And my props and my love go out to Thailand because it's a really really rough time for them.
Oh.
Like everybody there is feeling it immensely and like seriously condolences. Like he was the best king probably to live in the last 100 years. So, but besides that, like they do love fun. Like they're just like I've never been somewhere where there's more of a culture of like, why not have a party? Like for any excuse.
Any excuse to have a party is a good excuse.
And like family too oriented. Like, yeah, let's bring the kids down to the beach. And it's, you know, the moon is past a certain point in the sky. It's time for this holiday.
Sure.
So
yeah, well, I mean, when I was visiting you there, it was all these fire dancers on the beach that one night. And you go to the thing where they just throw like dye at each other, or what is it?
Yeah, it's India.
Oh, we do that in America.
okay.
It's called paintball.
Yeah. Yeah, but we turned it into a war game.
What's
Like
the
we
deal?
do with every country.
Everyone's like, let's have a fun party. And Mary's like, that sounds like a
let's
great
throw
idea.
paint at
Also
each
put
other.
guns
Also,
involved and bombs.
Let's make a tactical exercise. All right, well, let's see. Where's your opener? I want to try the space cake. I'm very excited to taste cupcake beer.
So I want to finish about sarcasm real quick. I was thinking about that. I want to finish my thought on that. Is that sarcasm is a hard thing to... You can open the beer.
Okay.
Stop doing that.
No, I'm engrossed in your...
But sarcasm, and especially for Californians more than anyone, is like, what? I don't know how to speak without sarcasm. Like,
Right.
no, we're not sarcastic at all.
Half of everything we say is
90%.
sarcastic. That's our language.
I was told the first time I went to Asia to live, I lived in Taiwan, and I was given strict instructions never to do sarcasm with my co-teachers because they would just think I'm serious. And it was very hard for me. I really had to be like, whoa, you're not getting this, you know?
Oh, man.
Thais are a bit more, they meet a lot of foreigners come in for tourism, so they are a bit chill with it, but generally, sarcasm is a bad idea. Like a bad idea.
All right.
Good to know.
Yeah, don't use sarcasm.
Yeah, if you're traveling and...
No, dude, don't use sarcasm. Oh, you do?
Wait
no,
a
no,
minute.
I'm serious.
I'm getting confused.
They don't get it. Actually, you know, Will Ferrell? Like a lot of his you know, the famous comedian.
Never heard
He's
of
got
him.
a curly head hair. You know.
That was sarcasm.
What? I've been in Thailand too long. But Asia hates him, by the way.
Really?
Aw.
He uses a lot of sarcasm.
Talladega Nights, not big
he has
over
a lot
there?
of like humor.
Well, he
that
plays the
doesn't-
jerk. Yeah, I mean,
But it's
they
a lot
probably
of
don't
like
get
it's kind of
that.
sarcastic.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
get that.
his humor is kind of based upon like I'm making a joke at something, but I'm not really.
But
You know,
I'm
kinda-
the joke. Well, it's,
right.
I mean, there's so much of like what you see on SNL. It's like they're not making. I mean, they're making fun of the jerk. They're making they're making fun of the president and stuff. That probably doesn't happen a lot in Thailand.
No.
Yeah,
but his sarcasm specifically, I've never heard someone be like, "Oh, you're from America." By the way, I hate Will Ferrell. You're like, what?
Wow.
Like, okay, first of all, okay. Second of all, like,
Will, we
what?
love you.
Yeah, I love Will Ferrell, but
know.
like, it's
Poor
weird.
guy.
Like, yeah, he's no love from Asia.
Oh.
Like, you go to Blockbuster
He'll be
over there.
okay.
I mean, they have a few of them over there in Taiwan, and like Will Ferrell movies, like in the bottom of the discount bin. Like, oh yeah, Will Ferrell movie
They just don't think he's funny at all.
at all.
How do they feel about Kevin Hart?
They're okay. Like, it's more slapstick. Slapstick works well.
They like that,
Jim
yeah.
Carrey is huge. You know?
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Slapstick
Huge.
okay, but spoken
It's
sarcasm
slapstick,
not.
like over dramatic, like we're obviously making a joke is way more hilarious, you know.
See, even I'm confused by slapstick. Sometimes it looks real to me. Like, are they really
Why is he
slapping or
beating up
hitting
that
each other?
guy?
It looks like it hurt. Yeah.
I mean, I've heard of the method acting, but
So they love like Three Stooges and stuff over in Thailand.
I mean, this is the year
They've
2016. They've probably never heard of this.
I know. As soon as I said that, I was like, that thing from 90 years ago.
Especially for Thais or most Asians, like, huh? Who?
Huh? Who?
Yeah, like, what? We didn't have movies with that.
That's
shit.
funny.
I'm trying to think of
They hate curly.
what's big. There's man, I saw a movie. We saw a movie together in Thailand. That was cool. It was a horror movie.
We did.
too.
We saw this weird
Not
horror.
horror. It
movie.
was a thriller.
Well, it was. I'd say horror. Yeah, it was.
horror's a
kinda
big
like,
genre over there. I mean,
Yeah,
we
they
should
like
really
horror.
cover a lot of that on this
Yeah.
show.
I should start sending you guys video links and stuff, or
please do, yeah.
DVDs and stuff.
I mean, we are going to
trying to
talk
remember what that
about
movie was
Japanese
now.
grind and gore. It's going to
Nice.
happen.
I feel like it was called 13 or
Yes,
something.
13.
And it was like a game show or something where they kept upping the ante, or was that?
it was like, it was the kid who was half Thai and he got picked on a lot.
Yeah.
And he's some famous actor, actually. I've seen him around
Okay,
a lot.
cool.
But he, it was like they invited some people to come in and say like, hey, we're gonna film you doing things. We're gonna like if you complete it, you can go to the next level and make more money or something.
Right, they were giving him money, and so it started out as pranks, and then by the
Yeah.
end of it, there was. I just remember the scene where they had the people on the motorbikes.
Yes, that sticks in my head.
They
my
pulled
entire
the
life.
wire across the road, and they scalped all these people on the motorbikes.
Every
It
time I
was
drove a
crazy.
motorbike, I think about that.
It
I'm
was
not
so
gonna lie.
messed up. I was like, "Oh my god!" I
Yeah.
couldn't believe that. Anyways, clown shoes. Back to beer.
So-
What do we think?
First off, I want to say I love the label
Man,
on this beer. With,
yeah, it's a great
you know, Superman or looking character in space.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with laser beams hitting him, with cupcakes. You don't know
Cupcakes
what the hell.
And a space dog.
I know we already
That's
talked
always
about it,
really
but I just
good.
got to say it again. That's really creative.
That's
and
dope.
it makes me want to enjoy it.
I just
It makes
say
me want to
dope
buy it
about
just
a
by
thing.
looking at
That's how
that.
cool it is.
It's
And it's called
genius
clown
level
shoe
marketing.
space cake. I
Unironically.
mean, who doesn't want to buy that?
Yeah.
Like, sweet.
Yeah, space cake, baby.
But man, these
I mean,
a lot
it's-
of IPAs smell like hoppy. This smells almost like chocolate on the nose. Like, you
yeah,
get a lot of
well,
sweetness,
it's definitely a sweet. It's like a dessert.
it's definitely a darker
really good
flavor. I mean, I can tell it's a Belgian, but I almost want to think it's sort of stouty, but it's not that dark.
It's actually an IPA.
Yeah.
It's everything.
So it's like a blend of everything, I guess.
It has a dry smell, but a wet taste.
That's a good way of putting
That's
it.
disgusting.
You ruined it for Chad. He'll never
Charlie's
be able
like,
to
I'm
drink
not
it
drinking this
again.
beer again. Also, craft
That's
beer.
it.
Done.
I'm out.
Back to PBR.
Wet taste. I can't deal with a wet taste.
Actually, you know what? This is a really appropriate name for this beer, Space Cake. I feel like I'm eating a cake.
It's definitely dessert.
Maybe that's why it feels stouty, because stout feels like chocolate to me.
Yeah, this has that
totally.
really big body to it.
But it's
really
really
balanced,
light
though.
in color. I mean,
I said
all you
feel, I
podcast
should say
listeners
taste, but, you know,
can't see it, but
I kind
It's
of
also,
feel
I
it
think,
too.
we were talking earlier about temperature of beer. I think this beer right now is the perfect temperature.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
If it's too cold or too much, a little bit more warm, I would say that it was too much. But this is perfect.
This is like perfect room
That's
temperature.
really good. That's a really
Mwah.
good beer.
Like what you do with a stout. Stouts
This
are
is-
drank in room temperature, right?
This is my winner for today. That beer.
all right, we got a winner, Space
Yes,
Cake. I think that about wraps it up for today. We got to get out of here on this episode. This has been Hops and Monsters, a discussion of beer. I love this episode. This was great. Thank you, Chad. for
Unfortunately,
coming in.
no
for
monsters
having me.
mentioned, but
We'll get back to the monsters.
We
yeah.
were a bit
No, we forgot. We
underprepared
forgot.
this
There
week.
was one monster that everyone faces in their lives. It's called alcoholism.
That was the theme.
Right now.
The monster theme.
I faced the monster of grapefruit because I am not a grapefruit fan, but that was a good beer.
Clowns scare the shit out of me.
Yeah, clowns
Oh, you're right. You had to admit.
Oh,
now
especially
you
with
ruined the beer
clowns
for me.
right
Killer clowns from outer space, baby.
Oh man, Engineer Ant with the final word. I'm Charlie Swanson.
I'm Ben Shackelford.
We got Chad Mitchell in the studio. This has been Hops and Monsters. Hops and Monsters at Gmail. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Good night. Have a good beer.
Later.
Proust.